Alrighty then, we're actually getting this party started on time today. Managed to be a minute or two late the last couple weeks, but right on the dot, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific, every Friday, live from Las Vegas. Here we are at Tricksupply. Of course, you don't have to come here to shop. You can visit us at tricksupply.com. But hey, we love to see smiling faces in the store. I've seen quite a few of you over the last couple days, and open thanks to everyone, all the local pro magicians, the families that have come in with their children to introduce them to the art. We're doing the thing here at Trick Supply, and we're doing it today live on the internet for you. And if you're here for the rope magic to learn the ropes, well, you've come to the right place. I suppose it might be appropriate at this point to ask everyone to stand for the national anthem of rope magic. Perhaps it's best I remain seated to keep this thing in view. Cotton rope, standard cotton rope like you might find in your bedroom or in a magic shop. We have all kinds of rope at tricksupply.com. I know a few things about rope. I'm going to tell you a few of the things I know today. I learned this when I was a young man. When you do rope magic, first thing you want to do is cut off the ends. So technically, we're doing rope magic with a rope with no ends. From here, you can take the center and make new ends. I'm going to try not to injure myself live on the internet today. That's 2 ends here, 2 ends. Oh, wait a minute. They're supposed to be the same a little bit. Hold on. Let me start over. Sometimes I get confused. It's been a while since I've cut and restored a rope. They're not exactly the same. The trick ain't working good. So here, we'll do it this way. Method B. Method B is gooder. You even the ends at the middle, then you just chop the loop in the center. It's not quite right either. Let me just even this up a little bit. Missed that one at the bottom. I think it's a little. Hold on. Let me try the third method. We'll do the Bruce Servan technique, which if you've done the math on this, and I have, just so you don't have to, this is the preferred method of getting the center. You even the ends over here. That'll give you the direct center over here, and that's where you want to cut the rope. Theoretically. From here, after giving it a cut, it's a simple matter of knowing which magic words to say. And I've practiced a few. I think that's close enough. I think the ideal magic words are these. Play along at home if you know them. Here we go. Hoodoo, hoodoo, voodoo, chicken doo-doo. You have to say that or the trick don't work. If you say it just right, back to one piece. Presto restoro, for your entertainment pleasure, for your viewing edification, the national anthem of rope magic, the legendary cut and restored rope. Oh my, I feel like we barely got through that skit. It has been a while since I've cut and restored a rope, a trick that used to be part of my active working repertoire. I've since traded it for more handlings along the lines of George Sand's Sandsational. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about the cut and restored rope. I got 5 or 6 rope things I want to talk about to you today. Let's take a minute and say hello to all the kindred spirits who have taken the time to spend some time with us today. What's up, Phoenix? Good to see you. Adonis, you made another one, and always happy to see Gutbuster Mike. Granini, I pulled an item on your recommendation. We're going to talk about that today as well. And Robert Valen, what are you on summer break now? Shouldn't you be teaching a class? What's up, Jesse? Good to see you again. And On the Box is in the house. What's up? Yeah, that's me. How you doing? Did we miss out Gary Powers? We got to say hi to him, and hello, Caden, as well. All right, we can say hi all day, but let's get this party rolling. Cut and restored rope. If you're going to do rope magic, let me tell you, that's one of the best tricks that you can do, and there's lots of places you can learn these kinds of things. If you've been around my universe for any length of time, you know I always recommend the Mark Wilson course as a great resource. And when it comes to rope magic, and certainly beginner's rope magic, there is no better beginner's tome to get started on these kind of things. And man, if you haven't put the Mark Wilson course in magic on your shelf yet, well, quite frankly, you're doing it wrong. Once you've got through that volume, you might consider something like this: Abbott's Encyclopedia of Rope Tricks. 500-ish pages on knots, escapes, cut and restored, penetrations, and other assorted things that you can entertain your audiences with. And as good as these resources are, I'm going to recommend one, and this recommendation really outshines just about anything that I'll be talking about today. Let me bring it up here. If you visit tricksupply.com, I haven't really talked about these before, but we offer downloads on our site. So you can go to the download button. If you go to shop now, there's a download section. And here we're looking at Expert Rope Magic Made Easy by Daryl. If you're in the chat and you've watched this video series, I've recommended it before many times in my magical life. Give a shout out. Let the people know how good this is. This is like all you really need to know, and taught by the magician's magician himself, Daryl Martinez. It's about 5 hours of instructions on everything I just mentioned that's in the Abbott's Encyclopedia. You'll learn how to cut and restore a rope like you just saw me to do. You'll learn some great handlings of the professor's nightmare. Daryl also teaches all the fun magic knots and things of that nature. I like to use knots. Let me show you, like when I start doing rope magic, I'll often open the sequence with a series of magic knots, and it's not magic, but it took me a while to learn, so I have to show it to someone. We'll do a vanishing knot and an appearing knot. This is one I like to start with, the one-handed knot. And I like to toss it up and just catch it like that, make an instant one-handed knot. It is the culmination of years of hard work, practice, and celibacy for your viewing entertainment pleasure. This one we make appear on the knot in shoelace form. It's the world's fastest shoelace. Hiya! Handy dandy until the ends go through the loops. That leaves you with a naughty situation. But hey, if you know knotology, that's not a problem. If you need that knot back, you just shoot it right back on there. Here it comes, 3D coming at you. There's the knot back on the rope. That's knotology, but please hold the applause at home. That's right. There's more. We're going to do one more. Here's a good one I learned from Daryl. You make a loop like this. You reach through the loop, pull the end in, making what appears to be a snug knot, but no. This knot is in fact, well, when I learned it, it was the politically incorrect jumping knot of Pakistan. Today, it's the amazing acrobatic knot. Note I've introduced the red rope for contrast. I used to do this trick with 2 white ropes, but that looked like crap. So now I do it this way. 1 red, 1 white, and a candy cane of magical mystery. The magic words, mecca lecca hi, mecca hiney ho. And lo and behold, check it out. That knot does indeed jump. It jumps right off of that white rope and right onto the red rope. It is a jumping knot, but dig it, it's also a sliding knot. And if you know how, and I do, we can slide that knot right off the rope and pop it right back on there. We finish the routine with a little magic halitosis. That'll fuse the knot onto the red rope. That's right, it's actually on there. 1 solid cord, 1 piece of white fused into the middle of the red. This is the amazing mystery that Daryl now calls the amazing acrobatic knot. And let me tell you, if I had to recommend one professional piece today, something that you can buy and add to your repertoire, well, you're looking at it. Contains everything you need, the 2 ropes, a couple extra knots, expert instructional from Daryl himself. And as I blabber about these things, I should also mention you can find links to all of the products and things that I'm talking about in the description of this video below. Phoenix loves knotology. I have a B+ in knotology and a D- in adulting. What's up, Gary? Good to see you made it. Greetings and hallucinations, indeed. The knot is not. Oh, Mike's offering the hot tips. That last knot, you can tie a ring on it. I wonder where you learned that. Huh? I learned it from Chip Romero. And whose routine was that? Jim Ryan. You add the ring off the string. Man, there's so many great rope things that we could talk about today. I guess I should talk about maybe the OG rope trick. Yeah, Robert, I also do usually swallow the rope. That Daryl rope with the acrobatic knot is a little thicker, so it doesn't work with the swallowing actions as well. But if you see me do my regular set with the regular ropes, it is in there. Oh, that's right. There is a Greg Wilson routine on that tutorial that is also really good. Yeah, this routine is great. It's a time-tested, proven routine. Actually, this routine, let me talk about one of the books I pulled off the shelf here. I'll talk about two of them while I'm at it. That amazing acrobatic knot came from the mind of Pavel, and Daryl is the one who just finessed Pavel's idea. And he has a lot of ideas with making colored knots jump on a rope. You can look at the Tricksupply catalog online. You'll see a few of the offerings in there. There are tricks I never handled before and just didn't have the time to dive into it before this live stream, but all of Pavel's work is classic. I'll show you something related to his stuff in just a minute. This is an interesting package. This seems to be maybe a lecture item from Chastain Criswell. He's the performer on the DVD. This is a $20 package. It comes with rope. It comes with a performance and maybe a short instructional, and then a manuscript on George Sand's Sandsational cut and restored rope routine. And if you're interested in doing just the cut and restored rope, I will encourage you to learn from George Sands. I'm going to talk a lot about a lot of magicians today, but let me tell you the stuff that George Sands created in the 50s and 60s revolutionized rope magic. And when you hear about fiber optics and the great white rope routine and most of the cut and restored ropes, most of this stuff is variations of George Sands material. So I do always encourage students to research the origins, the original, creators of this style of magic to make sure that you're learning, everything. Sometimes improvements aren't always that. Phew, Scott, we're going to need a note. You're 12 minutes late. If you were a minute earlier, the note would not be necessary. But what's up, Pasta? Good to see you. Did I pull one of these knot things? Where did it? No. We have a lovely double color changing knot. And I thought I had one, but I have so much. I have no lack of things. Let's move on with the next thing. This is, if you come into the magic shop and you're a beginner, I'm probably going to point you in this direction. If you know, the professor's nightmare. It depends. Actually depends on what kind of beginner you are. If you're like 4 years old and you want to do magic, I might send you this way. This is like instant push button magic, the Zig Zag rope routine. So piece of rope, fully examined by your audience. Maybe you do a couple magic knots before you put it in here to make it a whole routine. The nice thing about this plastic device is it protects the razor blades from young hands so that when you do the chop, it's a pretty clean cut of both ends of the rope. When you do the cut, it protects the young fingers, from getting injured. And then when you're ready to do the magic, bam, that rope goes back to one solid piece. So this is the kind of magic you can walk in Tricksupply with a 5-year-old, spend $5, be on your way, and they'll have a smile on their face. Wonder Zig Zag rope. This one we actually have on sale for even cheaper than that right now. And I like this version of the Professor's Nightmare for a beginner. It's colorful, looks like little magic wands. That is the little one. This one is a little bit bigger. And then we have this guy here, which is bigger than the other two. So short, medium, and then long. Now, if you even the ends at the top and then do this, take the big loop and double it up at the bottom, what it does is it makes this optical illusion that the 3 magic wands all become the same size. So it looks like the short rope, which is this one now, changes to the same size as the long rope, which is that one, and then the medium rope, which is that one. So now all of the ropes are the same size. Let's get you an upright view so you can appreciate this. Oh, 2, 3 ropes the same size. You change them back, just a snap of the fingers, a wiggle, and look right back before your eyes. There's the little rope. There's the long rope. And that really OG number 2, Bob Carver's Professor's Nightmare. A wonderful trick for beginners. And I gathered that many of my audience, much of you might have already seen this kind of thing before, but I have a version that you might not have seen. I'll show you that. I'll show that to you next. It's nice, right? Not too shabby. You know, you come in looking for an easy trick here to get your kid, happy about some rope tricks. I'll make you happy here. All right, here's the little something to break up the action. I'm doing rope magic all day, but doesn't have to be, with ropes. And here we're going to look at the 3-card Nightmare, which we have in poker size. And I'm going to feature the jumbo size just because I think it'll show up a little bit better on screen here. So 3 pieces of cardboard with pictures of 3 pieces of rope. It's just like the trick we just did. There's 1 piece of rope that's short, 1 piece of rope is medium, and this guy here is long. Short, medium, long. You do this, you do that, you do this, and that is optional. If you do all of that right, look what we have here now. We have 1 piece of rope that's medium sized. This piece of rope is medium sized. And then this piece of rope is medium size. It's the classic Professor's Nightmare, but in cardboard form. I'm going to do it one more way, and that is this way. This is where it gets weird because now the short and the medium and the long piece of rope have now all transformed. What is happening here? One long rope. That's uno long piece of cord. And this is the jumbo version of the 3-card Nightmare. If you want something fun to sit on your coffee table or put in your pocket or, take to the Magic Club meeting and show the familia, the peers, a little something different with the Professor's Nightmare, it's a good recommendation and it's super cheap. The jumbo one's only $2. Hunt it down at tricksupply.com and put a smile on your face. All right, I'm rambling. About a lot of stuff today. If you do have any questions or comments, constructive criticism, I'm looking in the chat and looking for you now. Oh, good. We had a fooling moment. Wonderful. So dig it. While we're talking about the Professor's Nightmare, I want to talk about a couple variations that I grabbed off the shelf because a lot of people have varied this classic routine through the years, and I'm going to show you some of the best ones that I'm familiar with. And this one was recommended yesterday, and I think it was in the Facebook post I made about the rope magic stream, Insomnia by Timothy Wink. This is a really cool learning system where he includes different colored rope to aid in the learning process. But this version of the Professor's Nightmare starts with 3 pieces of rope cut from a long piece. The spectator examines all of the regular size ropes and then they change to different sizes. This is a different approach from the standard Professor's Nightmare. And one that's, I think this says it all right here. This is a FISM award-winning magic trick. So every time FISM is held, they have a contest for magic creativity, and Timothy Wink, who's been a creative person, he's made a few interesting things in his career. That's Insomnia. Now, one of the first variations that I ever saw, and one that would eventually become the Fiber Optics series, Fiber Optics by Richard Sanders, started with this release from the Camarand Academy. And this goes back 15 or 20 years ago even. It's 3 ropes and a baby. And the bonus of this package is that it includes the juicy, sweet Camarand Academy ropes. So you get the ropes with this, you get the manuscript, and for $17, I think you'd be pretty happy to have this in your world. Of course, you can always go down the huge rabbit hole of Fiber Optics, where Richard Sanders teaches dozens and dozens of moves. If you're interested in a Professor's Nightmare-centric routine and want to keep it a little more simple and get some great rope, that's 3 ropes and a baby. I think you're right. Is that Einstein? I'd say it is. You are correct. All right, Box, go to the head of the class. Granini, you're the one that recommended this, if I'm not mistaken. So if people don't like it, we're going to blame you. Nick, go to the back of the line, get a note from the principal, and I'll see you on your return. All right, the last one, we're going to do just a little bit of light exposure. If you're from the IBM, you'll want to turn the stream off now. I want to talk about some of the utility gimmicks that we offer at tricksupply.com. There are ways to do rope magic that use some gimmickry, and here's a couple of them. This is one that Pavel used to good effect. Brass rope gimmicks. These are gimmicks that go inside the core of your rope, and they lock the rope together. So you could do like cut and restored rope with never cutting the rope. And alternatively, you could use something like this, little rope magnets. Rope magnets, which you also glue into the rope. And then what that will allow you to do, and like I said, just a little light exposure, is routines of this nature. This set of ropes is Hen Fetch's quad ropelets, released by Paul Richards and Elmwood Magic many moons ago. And this has the rope magnets in the set. So you're going to be able to go from a Professor's Nightmare style routine into, where is it? There it is. Into a routine where the pieces of rope all become one length. So here we have 2 pieces of rope. Here we have the gimmick. Here we have the other gimmick side. Boop, and they go back to 1 piece. So this is how a rope magnet works. And this package, the quad ropelets, has a wonderful routine that segues from Professor's Nightmare into a restoration of all of the ropes into one long piece. Several magicians have tried, a few have died in the process of trying to do the Professor's Nightmare into one piece of rope. Consensus says the Hen Fetch routine, it's on the ad copy in the back, is one of the best routines to ever see print. Hey, we've got this package on sale for $19 right now at Trick Supply. It's normally a $30 set. $19 right there. Quad ropelets. And again, all of these things are linked up in the description of the video. You have this link? You like this thing? All right, Jake's asking non-rope questions. Jake, it's rope day. What are you doing with the non-rope? But I actually have a rope tie-in. On if you tune into the Magic guys, Nick K and I were doing Magic Jam from the shop last Tuesday. We were talking about this trick. The Professor Cheers comedy rope trick. Boy, the exposure is real here. The lighting is strong. Professor Cheers comedy rope trick. Oh boy, this one is a doozy. And I'm assuming that a lot of my younger viewers don't know what this is. I'm going to briefly describe it. You come out, you're in a suit. You're in a suit, right? Or at least long sleeves. You come out, you get your rope out, you're ready to do your rope trick. And then you notice a piece of rope hanging out of your sleeve as though you've made a mistake. You're like, oh, there's a little rope. So you grab the rope and you pull it and it gets longer. And then it gets longer. And then you just start pulling all of this rope out of your sleeve. It's like 30 or 40 feet of rope. It's a bunch of rope. As you're pulling it, then you get hung up on it's either the arm or the leg. And now you go down to the other sleeve or to your leg sleeve, and there's a piece of rope in the leg sleeve. So you pull it out, and the rope comes out of your leg sleeve now, and you're pulling, and then the rope from your arm goes up the sleeve, and then you get hung up again on another sleeve. So it's all this rope pulling and pulling. It comes out of your clothing, and at the end of it, you give it a yank, and the last thing that comes out, if the show is right, the last thing that comes out is your undergarments. Maybe a nice set of boxer briefs, or this one ships with tidy whities, and I don't recommend that. But one thing that Nick and I talked about, a potential finale to the Professor Cheers rope trick, is using one of these guys. And these blooms might be a little bit big. We have some smaller 6 blooms or 10 blooms. These are the 20 blooms. And Jake, to answer your question, these will cost you about $30. The 20 blooms might be a little bit more. We have some that are $19.99, some that are $29.99, and these might be just a little bit more. So it could be like down your pants, TMI, but then as you're pulling the rope out, the last thing that comes out, boom, is this thing, from the pants. I don't know. Sounded better when Nick and I were talking about it. But yeah, there's your answer. Check the website, Jake. Go search for appearing flower bouquet, and you'll see about 6 variations. You're going to see more over the next couple days. I got some more stuff to input in the inventory. Super happy with this brand of appearing feather flowers. If you're familiar with the Tricksupply universe, you'll know we just picked up a large inventory from a magic company in the Northeast, and we're integrating that stock into our product line every day. And if you tune into the website, you'll see new items appearing on the reg, probably for the next few weeks. We have a lot of stuff to get through. Magic Manny wants to know if we made it to Abercorndabra. We didn't get there last year. There's so much going on in the shop right now, but I do think it's a regular appearance for Tricksupply. Wouldn't be surprised if we show up again. I'll tell you the conventions we're looking at rolling up in the near future. Magic Live here in Las Vegas. So if you're coming to Vegas and for Magic Live at the Orleans, we'll be there in August. I do believe we'll be at the Atlanta Harvest and Magic in September. And then maybe even Tricks in Charlotte. That's in, I think, November this year or late October. So if you're looking for Tricksupply at a Magic convention, that's the scoop. Magic Live, Atlanta Harvest of Magic, and then we'll also roll up maybe 2 Tricks. Jake with the jokes. Thanks, bro. All right, what have I not talked about today? Did I mention if you want to get some good rope, we have that too. If you don't know what rope to get, this gets my general recommendation. The professional rope from Defada also includes a nice tutorial with 10 or 12 other things. And then as a value option, you could consider this wonderful 30 tricks and tips with rope magic. Take a look at all the stuff that he teaches on here. The one-handed knot, the sliding knot, the professor's nightmare, cut and restored, a lot of the things you've seen me do today. He also goes into some penetrations, ring and rope, and even some of the escapes. Normally, this was released, it was $19.99. We have this on sale right now for $4. I don't know why he does the sales like this, but yeah, you want one of these, $4, it's yours, and you can learn most of what I've talked about for one low price. I am still going to recommend that you get the Daryl download. I really feel like of everything we have, everything that you could consider to learn rope magic, the Daryl Expert Rope Magic Made Easy, the free volume series, which you can get all of it for $40, really contains literally everything that you need to know. What, this yellow rope? I'm not even sure how I have this on my desk. But yeah, you can go gaga over this all you like. If you can find it on the website to order it, you'll get bonus points. Scott's in with the hot info. Tricks is November 5th through 8th. I assume I'll see you there if I make the journey, and I plan on making it. So it'll be a joy to see Scott. Hopefully, we'll also see the new insurance policy. Scott has a version of the insurance policy, the policy that is killer. I know you're working on a new version for that, and I would imagine it's going to be ready to roll for Tricks. Oh man, Gary's asking the impossible question. What is my favorite trick at Tricksupply? That seems to change on a daily basis, bro. Like, every day I have a new trick. Today it's the amazing acrobatic knot, because I don't have a good answer for that. Legit. It's like, trying to pick your favorite candy. How do you do that? Yeah, that yellow stuff is good. At the beginning of the show, I flashed this big ball of rope. If you do the cut and restored rope, this stuff from Loftus is basically what that yellow rope is. That's the 300-foot spool, which will cost you about $50 or $60, but that's enough rope to cut and restore for a lifetime. It's also super quality and easy to see, and I think we have that in red and blue, and I don't know if we have the balls in yellow, but the yellow rope is available. And did I talk about everything that I wanted to talk about in 30 minutes? I think we did. I'll be happy to talk about anything else you'd like me to talk about over the next couple minutes. If you want to leave a comment, a question, or anything in the stream, we'll get to that as well. So yeah, there's Scott with the info. The last policy was black and white. This version will be colored, which is lovely. And then the sealed envelope, chef's kiss. We like the envelope touch with this piece. I didn't mention the Tarbell book. You should have the Tarbell course in magic as well. And throughout this series is a cornucopia of rope magic. Tarbell was a rope expert and teaches a lot of that as well. All right, that's acceptable, Nick. You'll be exempt from the notes and you can proceed to the head of the line. Let me encourage everyone to do a rewatch when you get home. You know, we're trying to cure some watch hours here so we can do more things for the community. Once I get 4,000 watch hours, we can do more exciting stuff. So if you're at home with nothing to do, put on a Tricksupply stream. Let it run in the background for a little bit. You know, you don't have to support us by coming in the shop and buying things or shopping online. You can support just by subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, dropping a comment, you know, on the streams and on the short videos. And then if you can just leave the videos playing in the background, you will have the ultra thanks from my universe here at Tricksupply. Thank you for that. Magic Manny asks if I have a favorite handling for wild card. I've seen so many different variations. Wow, wild card. I would say my favorite handling through the years, I'm going to name two. One of them is from The Amazing Miracles of Shigeo Takagi. Great book, Amazing Miracles of Shigeo Takagi. I do believe it's on our catalog. He offers a couple handlings in this book. The better one, I think, is Forgery, which he does wild card with a signature. So he has blank cards, he signs one of them, and then he duplicates the signature, which has a little bit more magical appeal, in my opinion. The first one that I learned and researched in depth was Darwin Ortiz. His handling from Ortiz at the Card Table, I do believe that's the name of his first book, has a lot of really interesting changes and displays of the card. And if you haven't explored the advanced handlings of Darwin Ortiz, I would suggest starting there. But the Takagi handling, which uses the wild card move to good effect, is the one that's going to get my vote. You can do this. Who else can do this for us? Yeah, just a little extra watch time. And thank you. I did see that the crew is getting together over in the Oklahomas or the Arkansas. Man, how sad am I to not be in the Southeast now where I could go see a Jimmy and Nick show. Y'all break a leg down there and keep it on the rails. Yeah, I'm wondering if you have a favorite handling of the wild card, Manny. I really tempted to just go pull the wild card off and start doing that for the next 20 minutes, but you know, turns out we have a lot to do. Like this is, I always like to mention, it's the tip of the iceberg. I've got all the, I'll be putting up Miser's Dream coin pails next, and half a dozen other items fresh in stock. Oh, there is a hot one. Man, you are right. The Tommy Wonder Tamed Wild Card. The handling is great, and it's designed for walk around where an audience can see you do this trick a few times in a row. And every time you do it, the wild card changes into a different card. So like someone picks a 9 of hearts, they all turn 9 of hearts. Next table, they're all ace of diamonds. Next table, they're all 3 of clubs. It just keeps changing. That is a good version. Creepypasta just got bonus points. Let me put a gold star. Gold star. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's keep asking questions. Caden wants to know about the Miser's Dream and if there's a handling that I would recommend checking out. There is, and I'm going to recommend 2 of them. One is Chris Capehart. Chris Capehart, master magician, performed this routine on the streets and at all of his family shows. There's, I think he has an instructional DVD on this. You could probably find Chris's Miser's Dream DVD at Tricksupply. And then the other one I would suggest is John Carney's handling. He taught this handling in secret. We don't know. We don't know everything. John Carney's handling. I know it's on the video. Oh, the Book of Secrets. The Book of Secrets. And he also has a video supplement, the Video of Secrets. That might be the easiest way to learn John Carney's minimized but super good handling of the Miser's Dream. And of course, Tellers is great though. But yeah, you can't do that one. You can do the Carney one because he taught it. You know, Kate Part taught it. You start doing Teller's routine, and then, you know, the Las Vegas Magic Mafia hunts you down and bad things happen. No one wants to go there. I mean, I might want to go there, maybe, just to see what the Magic Mafia, who's in it. All right, y'all. Look, I got to wrap this up. I've got things to do today. In about 20 minutes, I expect more kindred spirits to be entering my universe here at tricksupply.com. Hey, if you're in Las Vegas, 2510 East Sunset Road, Wednesday through Saturday, noon to 6, I'm here. I'm here more than that, but that's the time you'll find the doors open with me, ready, willing, and able to share some magic, show you some tricks, and help you make better magic. That's why I'm here. Let me help you. And if it's not going to be here in the shop, drop me an email, send me a note on social media. Let me know how I can make your magic world better, and we'll do that as we can. I didn't say hi to Craig yet, but I'm going to say hi, and then I'm going to say bye. Hi, Craig. Good to see you. Book a sesh, man. We're overdue for a powwow online. Love to see your face, your smiling, happy face. And you are welcome, Gary. Glad you made it to a Trick Supply stream. That's going to be a wrap from this Friday live at Trick Supply. We'll be back next Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be a ciao for now. And you're welcome. I'm going to give everybody gold stars. Everyone gets gold stars. I'm out of here, y'all.